We got two classic MCs that we're pitting head to head. And they've been talking a little shit about each other during the Versus era when this the whole Versus thing came out. We have on one corner the Blast Master, the teacher. Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. KRS-One. And on the other corner we have the greatest lip licker of all time. Ladies love, you know what I'm saying, baby? The liquor of his own lips. Swollen headpiece.
Todd James.
What the
God
fuck?
James.
Oh my God. Ladies love Cool James.
Time.
The self-proclaimed GOAT. Ladies love Cool James.
LL Cool J is hard as hell.
And this is not necessarily an easy one. They're two different MCs with two different approaches. They both had very long careers, at least 20-year careers in terms of putting out albums and their catalog. They've probably been around for 30 years now, but I'm talking about when they were in the heat of it, putting album after album out like every 2 years. A good 20 years. In 1985, LL Cool J might have been the best MC in the world at that point. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
and he was like 16.
He was like 16. Came in the room like box. But there's also, by all means necessary, the criminal-minded one.
Over nearly everyone.
KRS-One, Return of the Boom Back. Step into the rapture. Man, the teacher. The guy who I kind of sound like in my vocal intonation. I try not to, but I can't help it. My KRS-One impersonation.
You got to give us a little bit of the Chris.
Blast Master Chris, I don't talk ish. Expand your consciousness and dismiss foolishness. Nobody's new to this or new to Chris. In hip-hop's atomic structure. I am the nucleus. He's going
Look at my nose. I even take more nose than you.
Stop right there. To start teaching and talking and shit. Slice, who's the better MC? Is it KRS-One? Is it LL Cool J? Who will win in the versus battle? KRS-One said that in the versus battle, LL Cool J won't survive.
It's funny, in a versus battle, it would actually be very interesting depending on the crowd. Because when you're just talking about like definitive hip hop records, Chris has a gaggle of them. But then if you're talking about like, crossover records that he has some R&B appeal to him, then LL Cool J has a cornucopia of them. So I'll say this much about LL Cool J. Never at any point in his career could you sleep on that motherfucker as an MC, including right now. If you look at some of the stuff he's put out, like when he did the video responding to the racial injustice, or when he just puts out I'm gonna spit these verses and y'all gonna listen to them on my page. Like lyrically, LL is still as sharp as ever and has even updated his writing technique even more to today's standards of like what is a dope ass verse. Like I'm an internal rhyme, external rhyme. Like he's still rhyming his ass off right now. In a way that people aren't even aware of necessarily. A funny story someone told me about LL Cool J back in the day is that when Ultramagnetic MCs had dissed him, they had a record where Kool Keith had a verse where he had basically he went at like a bunch of people who was popular at the time, Chris, Slick Rick, a couple of people all in the verse, and then they were doing a show, and LL came to the show, stood in the front row in a b-boy stance and was just like staring at these niggas like, yo, I should serve you suckers right now. like I want to just come on stage, interrupt the show and fuck y'all up. Like LL never backed down, never took shorts. Even when he was making those crossover singles on his albums, like Who Do You Love and doing it, he was always prepared to take whoever on in a battle. And it has not changed. With that being said, KRS-One is the answer to the question. If people really listen to his catalog, including recent albums he's dropped, what you'll notice is that the rhyme is still as strong as ever. KRS-One is still definitively one of the top 5 MCs who have ever lived. And the caveat beyond that makes him such a threat against anyone is that if you stand on stage across from KRS-One and y'all rap against each other, freestyle or pre-prepared, there are very few human beings on this planet who can deal with that shit. And I don't even think LL Cool J could. It would be very interesting. LL Cool J would be very prepared, but I think Chris would be more prepared because this is what the fuck Chris Parker lives for. He wants someone to come on stage. He dares them to come on stage and go against him. He will relish in the opportunity to be like, oh, I might be old, but if we see each other in the supermarket, milk goes down, eggs go down, and it's on. Like, so I think it would be Chris who would have the advantage. And I think Chris overall is cumulatively the greater MC. It's almost impossible to keep LL out of any top 10 conversation. I think that it's impossible to keep Chris out of any top 5 or top 3 conversation.
Jammer one, my guy. What do you say to that? KRS-One or LL Cool J?
Yo, this is so hard. This is so hard. This is so hard. KRS-One to me is like a mentor, you know. The greatest that ever done it. Easily. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna trigger some people here.
What? Just like my man said, you know, you stand on stage beside KRS-One, you know, it's going to go down. But we talking about verses, okay? And I agree, it depends on the audience or the crowd who's listening. This is real tough, because on one end, LL Cool J got those records with that mass appeal. You know what I mean? He got records that you can't front on, like Cars Ride By with their booming system, like Jingling Baby, I'm Bad. You know, he got chick joints that the women love. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like if they go head to head and the DJ is playing, I don't know if KRS-One in his catalog, which he have some hard songs, but he don't have the women the way LL Cool J have the women. And yo, like that is a very important factor when you battle it. You know what I mean? Like he got those,
in terms of just
those big records that'll hit.
If we take some of the commercialism out and we talk about just the artistic ability, the level of skill from a rhyme standpoint, from a hip-hoppery standpoint, as Ty Hill coined that phrase. Who would you think KRS-One has a better chance? You think LL will win in a versus battle? Who would win in the actual battle? Ball for ball.
In the actual battle, I would give it to KRS. Only for one reason and one reason only. I have never heard LL Cool J freestyle. So I don't know how LL Cool J would do in like the heat of the moment. You know what I mean? Where LL is a beast. And he could probably put some writtens down that'll, you know, have KRS reaching for his stuff. But if you in a battle as an MC and you can't come up with those spur of the moments, those special lines that'll push you over the edge, straight off the top of the head, you're gonna have a hard time in the battle, especially with KRS. So if we talking about MCing, I would give it to KRS.
Ty, I'm gonna give you the floor, brother. What would you say, LL Cool J or the Blastmaster KRS-One, the teacher?
Well, brother Kareem, I would love if you go first. Can we get you to go first?
The problem is I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm going
it's
to
tough,
lean.
Right?
It's tough because I have to get. I mean, the hip hoppery in me automatically goes towards KRS-One, to keep it real, hardcore lyricism, the conscious rhyme, the topic, the nature of his songs kind of draws me in more. I've always been a big KRS-One fan, but I've always liked LL Cool J as well. LL Cool J could rap. I don't think he beat Cannabis in that battle. I never did, but his ability, his ability to go hard and want to battle everybody there ever was. Cool Mo D thought he was the best MC in the world. LL had the newer style. He battled against Mo D, didn't care. The guy's about 18, 19 years old. Just the heart, the ego, the belief, the confidence, almost the type. Even his laugh irritates me because it's like the ego of LL Cool J is like, "Come on, baby, we on the Cayman Islands." You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just the guy's fucking annoying. The belief. I mean, he doesn't just believe he's the greatest of all time. He knows he is. He scoffs at the notion of someone that will put Jay-Z on a level above him. I deeply respect LL Cool J and always has the ability to make songs that cross over and still make hip hop records for the streets and for the hip hop enthusiasts. That's a skill where you can do it over and over again. If you have pop success and you can continue to create those type of records over and over and over again throughout your career, you got to give him credit. And I think it will be close, but I still think that KRS-One has a slight advantage in this conversation, and for me, it's because of the level of content that he brings. I think that's just harder to do when you're talking about, spirituality, politics, Black empowerment, that type of subject matter. They're able to rhyme it and break it down so that other people can get it. I would go with KRS-One because of that. And also the live. LL Cool J is a great live performer as well. But KRS-One put on the greatest live hip hop show that I've personally ever seen. Freestyling on the spot, a fucking pointer with a like pointing against a board, teaching niggas about stuff in Africa and parts on the map, and break dancing going on at the same time when he's rhyming. Just the hypeness of the show, the level of it. It was like, man, the only other person I've seen like that was maybe Busta Rhymes himself. So I'm gonna go with LL Cool J. I mean, I'm with KRS-One by a little bit, but I'm gonna go with KRS-One. It's amazing that he doesn't get the respect he deserves anymore. At one point, he was number one or number two greatest of all time, and now in a lot of people's lists, he's not even top 25. I don't know when that happened, but he's got to be at least, as Vic said, a top 5 MC. But because of LL Cool J's impact, I can't keep LL out of the top 10 greatest rappers of all time. But KRS-One is at least top 5 or 6 all time, in my opinion.